Hi everyone. So I am Tia T Mac, and I love gardening, vegetables, flowers, etc. So my channel is going to be dedicated to things of that nature and also other things related to nature. You may see me post a video about birds because I like to watch birds, and you may see me post a video, well, I already have, about spiders outside my house. Things of that nature are very interesting to me. I won't necessarily be posting about current events. While I am impacted by them, as is everyone else, I have a different way of dealing with them, processing that. I won't be processing that here on YouTube. That is not my intention. While my prayers do go out to the family members that are impacted by what is going on, again, I will not be processing that here on YouTube. So I do not have any subscribers yet. I'm new to YouTube in terms of posting videos. I have been locked for almost in this November 2020, it will be 5 years. So I've been watching YouTube videos, and then I started watching gardening videos, and it kind of expanded from there, and I thought, well, I can do that, or I can at least try. So hence the beginning of my lock journey, as well as my gardening journey. So I may talk about locks every now and then if I have some issues, or have perhaps answers to issues that some others may have experienced in their lock journey. My journey has been very different. Maybe I'll make a separate video just talking about that, because I'm a little bit stubborn and wanted to do things my way. So yeah, that's a whole nother video. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing today is transplanting some of my other some of my plants, because I'm in my greenhouse, by the way. I'm not like in a tent. I'm in a greenhouse that is on the side of my house, and this little thing up here hanging, that is, I believe, cabbage growing. Let's double check that. Let's see. Nope, I'm wrong. That is Swiss chard that is growing, and which I have some more, and it's only about that big. I can show you. I have the video posted, the camera posted on a tripod, which I'm just using my phone. As I said, I'm new, so it's kind of stationary, so I have to bring things to the video. So hold on for just a minute. I have to get it out of the contraption that I had it in. See, Swiss chard. I'll turn it around. Of course, it's going to be backwards, but I planted this June 16th. I don't know if you can see very well, just about that much growth. And I have this little cage on top of it just because it was in the way in my greenhouse. But this little cage thing is meant to protect plants from mice, which I do get mice in here. It won't deter the mice anyway. These are eggshells, which I learned about here on YouTube, that they will work well in your garden. I have broccoli and cabbage on the other side of the greenhouse. I can show you that as well. And they said if you crush the eggshells and sprinkle around those, that deters the worms, etc. And also they are good for your tomatoes, to give your tomatoes calcium, as well as your cucumbers, because I have a beautiful cucumber plant that is large, but it is not producing. It's producing flowers, but no cucumbers yet. So it may be too early. As I said, I'm a bit new at this, so I'm kind of making it up as I go along. And I belong to a couple of Facebook gardening groups, private gardening groups, that I'm getting pointers from, as well as other fellow YouTubers. So I'm going to try this in my cucumbers and see if that helped. I learned about putting baking soda and Epsom salt and cinnamon, all things like that, and natural remedies in the garden, as well as neem oil from I'm not going to try to pronounce her name because I'm going to mess it up, but I follow her, and she talked about, she uses hers for house plants, but she talked about using neem oil and mosquito bits, which I have, and I will show you. I'm kind of sitting this, facing inside my greenhouse so that I don't want every car that goes by to be a distraction. Okay, so this is the mosquito bits. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get a little closer. And it takes care of fungus gnats because I started my seedlings inside when it was still cold. And here's the baking soda just in a minced onion bottle. I started it inside, you know, to kind of get a head start. And here's my Epsom salt, which Dollar Tree, okay? I got the baking soda and the Epsom salt from Dollar Tree. The mosquito bits I had to get on or at like Lowe's or Walmart, someplace, like any garden store would have it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, this is another trick that I learned about on YouTube, and I'm sorry, I apologize if you hear any cars going by, if you hear any neighbors chatting, and hopefully a neighbor won't come by, you know, in the greenhouse, because yeah, that can happen. Okay, so I learned about this on YouTube. This is my cabbage, and these I planted from seedlings. I don't even know if you can see that very well, but this is just an old juice bottle. I guess if I turn it around, yeah, you can see the juice bottle that someone had, like this huge growth, I shouldn't say growth, but production of like broccoli or cabbage or something. Okay, they're leaving. So by the way, when you, after you transplant the cabbage, you need to spread it out a little bit. Obviously, for all of the cabbage that I have in there, there's not quite enough room for that to be productive. So I'm gonna scoot that back over there. This, oh, that's broccoli. You know what? That'll work. This is some fledgling broccoli that I have. See how tall that is? Right here. And there's a few others in here. That's broccoli that I planted June 16th. I'm gonna put some cabbage in there because those two can go together. They're in the same family. And the container that I use, this is an old mixed greens container, and I use all kinds of things in my greenhouse to plant in. I have old half-gallon milk cartons, and as well as some containers that I purchased, because I like to try to recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle, and so I try to make use of what I already have. Where are my gloves? Oh, I want to show you this too. I'm excited about this. This is a new bag that I purchased on Amazon. I'll try to link it in the description. It was only about 20 bucks, but it's really large inside pocket, and then it has 6 pockets on either side and one at the end. So I was pretty excited about that, because you know, you don't want to keep making trips, as I was doing, back and forth in the house and etc. Okay, here are my gloves. Yeah, these gloves they're well used. They're not even that old, man, not quite a month old, but yeah, they're used, well used. Because if you call yourself any type of gardener or want to be gardener, you have to basically be in the garden about every day. So and what I'm going to do when I transplant these, they said on YouTube, if you can put Epsom salt down in the hole, like you dig your hole, put the Epsom salt in there and cover it a little bit, and then with some dirt, and then put your seedling in there, or even your seed. And then you can sprinkle the baking soda like on top, or mix that in with the soil. Same with the mosquito bits. The mosquito bits help control fungus gnats, eliminate fungus gnats. I'm going to shift this a little bit. Those are our cars in the background and my neighbor's house across the street. Oh, where is the cinnamon? And the cinnamon is also to help deter, I must have left that inside. It helped to deter fungus from growing on top of the dirt. If I find any in my other planter on the other side of the greenhouse, I'll show you that. I already pulled some out this morning. I was in the garden this morning. Oops, sorry about that. I knew I wanted to do a greenhouse, but I didn't know how much I would love it and how soon I would run out of space. Had I known that, I would have purchased a larger one and not have been a cheapskate. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna try to lower the camera so you'll hear my voice, but you will not see me, because I want you to see what I'm doing and not just my face, not just my beautiful face. Okay, so, or actually, I'm not sure how to pause it. I will come back in another video. This is part 2 of the video where I was in the greenhouse. As you can see, I'm in the greenhouse the same day, just a few minutes later. See, same outfit. I'm going to put some dirt in these type of containers, and this is not the final container that they will end up in, but it's kind of a transitionary container, if you will. I try to reduce, reuse, recycle, as they say. So I'm starting in this. I'm going to start in these containers. The type of dirt that I'm using, the bag is too full for me to get it on camera. Again, I will link it in the description box. It is called Sta-green, Sta-green flower and vegetable garden soil. That's Sta-green flower and vegetable garden soil with fertilizer. And I started using this from, instead of another soil that I used to use, Miracle Grow. You know, that's the name that's touted on television, and perhaps the name that most of us know as the name, you know, the Cadillac of dirts, if you will. So, but I've been discovering fungus gnats in those bags of Miracle Grow, and hence my problem when I started my seedlings inside, and I lost a lot of my cucumbers. I had to start over. Lavender, onions, so many things. Potatoes, I had to start over. My potatoes did recoup though, and I'll show you those a little later in this video, or perhaps in another video. They did recoup, but they were almost as tall as me inside, which I'm not very tall, just a little over 5 feet on the outside. But the fungus gnats came in the dirt, and I didn't realize what they were. You know, you see these little balls in there. Well, those are the little fungus gnat eggs. And so now when I see those, I take joy in, close your ears, those of you that, you know, preserve nature, I take joy in squishing the little the little eggs. Is that wrong? It's them on my plants. So that's the dirt that I'm going to use. But first, I'm going to start off putting some dirt in the container. So excuse my back. See me still. It smells so good too. Is that weird? Does I like the smell of fresh, clean dirt? As well as, I usually like getting my fingers in it, but it, let me see if I can adjust this camera a little bit, but it ruins my fingernails, so yeah, that's not working so well. Okay, I'll lift it up just a little bit because I want you to be able to see a little more of my face, but when I bend over and, you know, do the process, I want you to be able to see some of that as well as I begin the transplant. All right, let me turn it on this way. Okay, I'm out of focus for a minute. Not out of focus, off the screen for a minute. This is a huge bag. Okay, so now I have my container filled. It smells so good. Just like a little drive through the country. And a nice, fresh, you know, fresh after the rain. Oh, I love how that smells. I don't want to do that. That'll do it. Don't want it to be too full. Okay, and then what I like to do is take the Mosquito Bits and just sprinkle some of those in there. And you can sprinkle it on top as well, but the fungus gnats lay their eggs down in the dirt, so where your roots are, and as they hatch, they munch. So I want to give them something to munch where they're already at, so that my roots have a bit of a fighting chance. And then I mix in a little bit of the baking soda. The Epsom salt I'm going to put in as well, but I'm going to put that down in the hole because that's where you're supposed to. So again, you dig your hole deeper than what you're actually going to plant your seedling, so that you can put the Epsom salt and then put a little dirt over it. You won't be able to see the, it's probably about an inch and a half that I go down. You won't be able to see because of the contrast, lack of contrast in the dirt. So then I'm going to put my Epsom salt. And I'll update you as well on how this works. And it doesn't take very much. You just kind of put it down in the hole. Oops, I came right off the camera there. And then I like to add a little bit of water as well. See the type of containers I use? They have the handle. I just poked some holes in this so that it would just come out. Oh, yeah, you can't see that on camera. Okay, so first I'm gonna do some of the cabbage. Yeah, it's pretty crowded in there. So, and I'm gonna get some that are back here towards the back, because this is kind of a bridge, if you will, or a covering, and it will have a little trouble rising above that. So I'm going to grab that bunch right back there. And I try to get the whole, there we go. Look. Okay, I'm going to take my glove off. These gloves are nice for keeping your fingers clean, but I need more precision. So, I don't know if you can see that. I'll come closer to the camera. Okay. Oops, one of them fell down. So, I'm going to try to separate. Like, this is one. I don't know if you can see the tiny root right there. I'll place that in one hole by itself. And before I close up the hole, I'm going to put a little bit of water in it. Give them the fresh plants a drink. Okay, here's another one. Oops, there's a little bit that's wilted. I'm just going to take that off. See, there's the root. Move this part out of the way. It's supposed to rain earlier, which gardeners usually love that. to a certain degree. Let's see. Yeah, I did. I forgot to mention on camera, I already poked holes in here for drainage, because that's important. Your plants do not want to drown. Okay, there's another little baby. And again, this is cabbage that I'm planting. Transplanting, I should say. And this is the last one that is going in this particular container. Another little light drink. Oops. You don't want to overwater, which I tend to do that. Okay, so there we go. That's not the best picture. I can't tilt it too much because they'll fall out. So what I'm doing now is tamping the dirt around those 4 seedlings that I put in there. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm trying to do this pretty early. Well, it's not too early. It's about noon. But before the sun shifts, because it gets super hot in my greenhouse. I cut a hole in the window. I have a small solar fan in here, which I have another one coming today. I got from Amazon. I'll try to link that as well in the description box. Only about 25 bucks. Not bad at all. And it does help the air to circulate. And I have it directed upward because, of course, heat rises. And the window that I cut in the greenhouse was in the back. I try to keep the door open unless it's a bad storm. I cut a window in the back for that kind of cross ventilation. And so that when I stand up, I can breathe, because it's so funky hot. Yeah, that's the only way to say it. Okay. Come on. And then what I also do, I have some, yeah, I do. I have some labels. This cutout part right here, I reuse that as well. I like to make my labels. Sometimes I just write it on here, which I may do that as well in case the labels, you know, get blown around or something. But I'll write it on the label with a marker, and as well as on this, which I just made that pretty. It'll show up that it's a black marker. Okay, so let's get the marker and the labels. Which again, I love this bag that I purchased from Amazon, because these are all where I keep my old bags to, you know, guide me as to what to do for which particular plant. These are all the bags and labels, etc. Not the labels that you write on there. I'll show you those. Yep, that's my mask. I have a mask in this little bag too, in case neighbors come over. What are you doing? Etc. etc. You know, getting in my space. Steeler fan. Of course, aren't you? But you know, if in an emergency, I'll have to put it on if they come, because some of them say, "Oh, I don't care about social distancing, and I don't care about that." And I say, "Well, I'm not wearing my mask, and oh, I don't care about that, but I do." So, step back. See, this is one of the cutout. It's not from this particular milk jug, but it'll work. Okay, so we said that was cabbage. And if I have pre-germinated these, I like to put that date on here, is if I'm just planting them, you know, if they have sprouted from pre-germination, I like to put that date, and then also the date that I'm actually planting it into a larger container, just so I can track the progress. And let me see, where's the original container? This was planted June 16th, so I'm gonna go with that date. And I don't think I pre-germinated these because the date's not written. So, or I mean the fact that it was pre-germinated is not written. Yeah, that's kind of a big label for that, but it'll work. See? Closer. And then I'm going to write it right here. I don't put the date there, just what it is. Okay. And bam! And it got so, this is my second crop, if you will. My first batch of plants are already out on the other side of the greenhouse because they got so big that let me move this. They got so big and I needed the space. This is my little fan. I was at the store one day having a hot flash. And this is my prevention kit. It's one of those frozen fans, and it had this nasty candy in it, but I didn't buy it for that. I wanted the fan so that, ooh, a little bit of heaven. Yes, I am blessed to be of a certain age. Thank you very much. None of your business how old I am. Jeez, none of it. Just kidding. I will tell you, I am 57. July 4th was my birthday, and I am blessed to be able to attain 57 years. It's unfortunately a privilege that has been denied many. Okay, so one down and one, well, several to go. All right, I have to put some more dirt in the next container. Smell of this in the description box. So again, put my holes in there. Okay. A little bit of mosquito bits. The mosquito bits aren't very expensive either. They're this size I think was $9, and then I got the bigger size. It's about this size. The size of this bottle, and that was about $18, about double the cost of this one. But I like this because it's portable, fits in the bag, lighter, and shakeable. Okay, a little bit of water. Just put that down. Ooh, I seem to be missing. There we go. Turn my glove back on. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is end this video, and when I'm finished I will come back and not only show you the finished work of today's work, but I'll show you the other side of my greenhouse as well. Thanks for watching. Blessings.